Hi
Hey
Noah,
Joe,
what's
how's it
up?
going?
How you doing?
Good, good.
Good to meet you,
Uh,
man.
yeah, you too. Thanks for, reaching out and organizing this. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I really enjoy the album. I've already played it on the program, so it's great to catch up with you within the stream. But what I would like to do before we get to the album is cover what we've
Mhm.
lived through for the last 3.5 years, and it really
Right.
affected the music community quite a bit. How did you survive COVID, and how good does it feel to have an album out now?
Yeah. Let's see. I taught online a lot over COVID. I also worked as I work as a ballet accompanist. That's something that I do. And so I played for ballet online, which was kind of wild.
Yeah.
So in regards to like the practical aspects of it, it was very much teaching online almost every day, and playing ballet online. And then I basically just I wrote a ton of music. Every day I would write, and I wrote a lot. And a lot of that music I decided not to put out. I wrote like large ensemble music. Like I wrote this whole suite for a 12-piece ensemble, and I don't know, I guess, you write your music, and then once it was time to actually be able to play it with people, it had been a year, or I don't know, it had been a while, and I just thought maybe this isn't, I don't know if I feel this anymore. But I just wrote a ton. And I wrote a lot of music for my friends too, just like colleagues of mine that I played with. I would just write songs specifically for them, and I'd send it over to them so they could just play with it. So that was like I'm from Canada. And I was living in Toronto at the time, and we had, really significant lockdowns. And so yeah, that's kind of how I got through it. Yeah. So
Right on. So let me ask you this. How did you put this album together? How did you artistically put it together?
right. Well, it came up with Corey Weeds. He's the leader, the guy who runs Cellar Live, the record label that this record is on. And I played a gig with him, um, and the topic came up, where essentially, this could be possible. In Canada, there's this organization called Factor, which provides a lot of funding for albums. So, anyways, Factor supported this record, and then it was so. And then artistically, how did this record come to be? Um, I wrote a lot of the music. Um, I'd say, let's see, we recorded January 2022. No, we recorded January 2023. And I wrote a lot of the music in the fall of 2022. And essentially, I tried to write things that had very specific musical ideas that I was interested in, but I was always trying to write music that could tell a story and just sort of lead people along on a journey. I wanted people to listen to the record and like feel something. So one of my motivations was, you know, I was what was it? Dan Tepfer, a great pianist, he said something along the lines of how, Dostoevsky's books are essentially these philosophical books, but told in really great stories. And I guess there's a um, in regards to how I approached the album, I wanted to do something somewhat similar where I'm exploring these interesting musical ideas, but I tried to place them in a format that are, accessible musical stories, if you want to say it that way. Um, so that was kind of the whole goal of the record.
Yeah,
Yeah, distilling ideas.
absolutely. Yeah, makes sense. So talk to me a little bit about how this journey into the music and jazz began for you.
Okay, yeah. So well, I started playing piano very young. my mother, she was playing piano on like the night before I was born, so music was always like very much a part of my life. And there's a lot of musicians in my family. And so I started playing piano, I think when I was 5, and I started writing music. I think the first song that I wrote was when I was 6 years old. It was a really bad song, but um, and so how I got into jazz was my family moved to Vancouver, and I came across these older musicians who did this thing where they would live in New Orleans for the winter and then Vancouver for the summer. And I played in their band when they were in Vancouver. I was still in high school, and I couldn't leave because I had to, finish high school. Um, but in the summer we would busk on the street, and we had these weekly Sunday concerts in this house that these musicians all lived in, and it was like this intergenerational concert where we started at 6 and we played 3 sets every Sunday. And everybody was invited, and then by the end of the night it was, younger people, and it was more of a party. But it was, we played a lot and we gigged a lot. So I gigged, and I learned a lot about performance and just, you know, the music when I was a teenager. And then from there, just I guess I moved to Toronto. And anyways, so that's kind of how it started.
What was the first live jazz show you saw that blew you away?
That's a good question. Um, I remember seeing Wayne Shorter's quartet on my birthday, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so my birthday happens during Jazz Fest season. At least, yeah, most Jazz Fests happen in the summer. So, anyways, I saw Wayne Shorter's quartet, and that blew me away. That when I think about the first concert that truly blew me away, that might be it. That
Yeah.
was incredible. Seeing him, and seeing him just I guess orchestrate the music and lead the band in such an organic fashion, and just hearing that band was just absolutely incredible. So
Have you seen that
yeah.
special on Amazon about him?
Actually, I haven't. No,
Oh yeah.
I'm not yeah, I should check that out.
Oh, it's phenomenal. Yeah, for
Hmm.
sure. So let me ask you this. Of all the facets that go into being a musician, from live shows to recordings to educating, what do you like
Hmm.
the best? What do you look forward to the most every day about it?
Um, let's see. I love writing, and I love making music on the bandstand. I think it's a little hard to pick one, because I think that uh, like um, we need a substantial amount of, I guess, activities in our life, and at least I do, in order to feel just, you know, um, uh, feel like I'm sort of doing something good within my life. So community, education and community, that is part of my life, and I feel very passionate about it. I teach a lot, uh, and um, and I guess I've kind of mentored a few young people now, like, teenagers. I care about, young musicians who are sort of coming up. But it's hard for me to have an answer as to one. I love to write. It's something that I do every day. I love to practice. It's also something that I do every day. I love to perform, and by performing, I specifically mean just like making music with people together, whether that is with a larger band, or playing solo piano and just feeling the room. I love that as well. So I guess I don't have an answer for you.
Well, let's hone in on something more specific here. Why do you love
Yeah.
jazz?
Why do I love jazz? I love the energy, and I love, I guess, the freedom of expression within it. I love uh, the the message behind it, the history. Um, So I guess really what it boils down is to just yeah, there's a feeling there, there's a feeling there that I really love, and that I believe in.
So Wayne
Yeah.
would be considered a dream show for a lot of people, but if you could go back in time and see another show that's be in any era, anywhere, a dream show, where would you go? Who would you love to see live?
Hmm. I wonder how many people answer give you this answer, but I would really, really love to be at Minton's when Bird was playing there
Yeah.
with Bud Powell and Max Roach and Charles Mingus. Um, I I would love. I felt, as all of us do, I fell in love with the music of Charlie Parker, um, and I study it. I'll probably study it for the rest of my life. Um, and there's just this magical energy in that music, and I think it would be truly a gift to be able to be in that room and hear that band and hear him, Dizzy, hear Monk. So just being there at Minton's during the heyday of that would be really special.
So that's the first time I've ever heard that incarnation. I've heard
Mm,
Bird before, and the funny thing about this question is that I've spent a lot of time on 18th and Vine here in Kansas City, and I
mm,
think about all of the ghosts and the people that floated through and all of the history, and that's one of the reasons why I asked that question, because I
mm,
would love to be on 18 and Vine at some
mm,
point during the heyday, even when it was
mm.
just a regular night with the Battle of the Bands and the Cats Count and all those guys were floating through. It would have been wonderful.
Yeah.
So everyone out there has a perception of you, family, friends, fans, students, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
That's a good question. I guess first of all, I'm trying to figure that out.
We all are.
Um, I guess yeah, let me think about that for a second. Musically, ultimately I'm a composer and a improviser and a pianist. But as an individual, I would like to be somebody who um, has some kind of impact within a community. I'd like to, moving forward, as yeah, over the next 10 years, I'd like to grow musically, but also grow from a standpoint of make things happen. Just make sure that more people have access to music, especially uh, these are like challenging economic times, and I think it might get harder. And I work for the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra School of Music, um, and um, and so I'd like to just try to make some things happen to make sure that more people have access to music, and just grow community. There's like what we're sharing this music for the next generation, and I'm young. I'm 26, so I'm still like what part of the young generation.
Yeah,
But there's a bit of an age gap between myself and 18-year-olds now and younger as well, and I think we've got to help each other out. So yeah.
for sure. So if anyone wants to pick up the brand new album, learn about live shows, anything about your world, where can they go?
Yeah, Bandcamp would be the best place to grab the record. You can just search up my name on Bandcamp and you can find it there. My next show, I'm playing at Freddie's Bar with a great guitarist named Lingya. It's his quartet. Um, that's in December, and I'm actually doing. It's not like completely confirmed yet, but I'm playing this duo piano show in October, but the date isn't confirmed yet. But with a great pianist composer named Isil Kim, and so that'll be fun. But unfortunately, I don't have the date confirmed for that. But you can check that out. I also play with Ragaverse, this great band, and we're putting out a record soon. So keep an eye out for Ragaverse as well. Yeah,
Yes, sir. Noah, this has been great, man. Thank you for opening up. Thank you for your time. Best of
yeah.
luck with everything.
Thank you. Have a
And
great day.
yeah, and hopefully we'll catch up down the line. Keep on putting
Yeah,
it out
for
there.
sure.